Super pumped to have our next guest back on the show. So since opening his Sharp knife shop on James South in Hamilton, Gage Coyle has had a lot of success educating us all on the importance of having a good sharp knife in the kitchen. Give a follow on us on his Instagram too for the numerous tutorials. But we're getting one in person today because Gage is back on the show. Hey, buddy.
Hey.
Okay, this is really cool because you changed our knife game for myself and my wife because we got a knife off you last time you were here. This knife is, what is this knife?
That is called the Tsunehisa 210 millimeter Gyuto. Gyuto being the Western equivalent to, or the Japanese equivalent to a Western style chef's knife. So it's super versatile.
This has changed everything. This is the knife, we use this knife for everything. And we had like decent knives before.
Totally.
But this knife, what can a good knife, how can it really change the game?
Well, you've said it right there. It changes your life in the kitchen forever. Having a sharp knife is gonna make you, one, feel more inclined to go out and use it. So you're gonna wanna go out and chop stuff with that thing. It's gonna melt right through ingredients like they're not even there. And you'd be surprised at how much better your knife skills will be when you're using an appropriate and sharp tool.
And then you go to other people's places or you go to a cottage.
Can't do it anymore.
We bring it with us.
Good.
We did something though, Gage, we did something. There is a chip in our knives.
There's a little boo-boo.
Yeah, okay, so we're just like, well, we gotta throw it out.
Don't throw it out. Bring it back into the shop.
How does this happen? How does it, I don't know if you can see it there. It's right there.
So the biggest culprit for damage to a knife is when we're using, for instance, this rocking motion, when we're going through parsley and stuff like that. A lot of people have a tendency to put two hands on the knife and roll through ingredients like so, which you can absolutely do, but if you put too much pressure down as you twist the knife, you're gonna hear this like sort of twing, ting sort of noise, and you're twisting the steel, torquing it, and that's going to cause it to chip, which is no good.
Okay, but you can sharpen that out?
We can absolutely sharpen that out.
So I'll give you a quick demo.
We're not going to get it all done here, but all we would do is grind the knife down until we've removed that chip. I'm using a super low grit stone here. This would generally take us around 20-30 minutes at the shop just to get rid of that chip. And then after that, we would have to refine the edge on finer and finer whetstones, right? Okay. But this guy is by no means a bad chip. We see ones, the like dime size coming out of knives that we can get out. Of course, your knife's never gonna be the same. It's gonna be a little smaller than it was before, but we can get it sharp for you again, absolutely, and have you chopping away again.
Okay, cool. When we're chopping away, proper way technique to be chopping?
Proper technique, so find the balance point with your index finger, right, like so. Thumb goes on the opposing side.
Okay, yeah.
Hold it the other way there, Tim. Point it that way.
Point it that way. Okay, there we go.
And then edge away from you.
Don't point the knife.
There you go.
Towards you and the edge away from you.
We've got the balance point. And then thumb goes on the other side, fingers wrap around. Now it's equally as important as what's happening with your left hand, provided you are right-handed.
Right.
So we use like, I like to call it like, imagine you're grabbing like the biggest pinch of salt you've ever grabbed, and then you're gonna pick a finger that you're gonna keep in contact with your knife as you're chopping. I know at the start this feels really scary, like you're gonna chop your finger off, but knowing that your knife and finger are in contact with one another, I know where the edge of my knife is, and that it's not going to go into my fingers, right? I'm keeping all my fingers tucked behind, and I'm using that one guide finger to, as the name entails, guide my knife through the ingredient. Pulling my fingers back in towards my pinky and my thumb as I go, and that's gonna set the thickness of my slices, obviously. The faster I go, but the faster I chop up and down, but the more slowly I move through the ingredient, obviously the thinner my slices are going to be. That is really the foundation of all good knife skills. Once you get comfortable with that, then things seem to open up a little bit.
Okay.
When I was first cooking professionally, I would go home and buy a 20-pound bag of onions and chop away all day.
And just get used to it. The more you do it, the more you get used to it.
It's like any other skill with your hands.
Okay. We're running out of time. So you have a shop on James South in Hamilton.
Yes, sir.
Shop at Etobicoke too.
Yes, sir.
Where you sharpen knives, but also sell these wonderful knives.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay? But then also give them a follow because you're always coming up with some great content.
Yeah.
How do you follow on Instagram?
So our Instagram is sharp_knife shop. On YouTube, we are Sharp Knife Shop as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, we post lots of cool, fun stuff.
Let's do a little cutting. That's our show for today. We'll have you back on. Maybe we'll do some real cooking when we have Gage Coyle back on from Sharp Knife Shop. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks for
See you tomorrow.
having me.
Bye.